Hi, Lance Norris here again, and inspired by my chillingly accurate record for predictions, a television production company recently hired me to help them narrow down the field of candidates to host their new television program. Their crack team of consultants had come up with 15 people they felt would be a right fit for the show. But the suits of the production company didn't get to where they are today by being stupid. They knew they still had to thin the herd down to that one host who would be a combination of charm, wit, and guile that would be a ratings bonanza. But of course, this would involve making a decision. You don't get anywhere in this business if you don't have a fall guy to blame if that decision doesn't turn out to be the best possible choice. That's where I come in. I was armed only with those 15 names, a deck of tarot cards, a pendulum, a case of Red Bull, and some common sense. And I made my choice. Now, with your help, I'd like you to check and make sure that I made the right decision. Take a look at the celebrities on your screen. The main target demographic for this show is men in their early 20s to late 50s. That's a pretty wide net. But since this show is for men, what I'd like you to do is go ahead and pick out any one of the men on your screen. Go ahead, put your finger right on them. Of course, what are you going to do to attract 90% of the male population? Use a woman. So move your finger to the first woman you find on either the left or the right of where your finger is now. A woman host would be the obvious choice, and obviously we're cruising for a sexual discrimination suit if we keep thinking along those lines, so move your finger either straight up or down to the nearest man. Let your finger rest there for a moment while we think about this. Now, John McCain has a lot of free time on his hands in the coming year, so he might be a good choice. But I think he's suffered enough, so let's cross him out. Speaking of suffering, haven't we all suffered through enough of Lindsay Lohan's life at this point? Let's remove her from the list too. Former X-Files star David Duchovny seems like a nice enough fella, but the stars tell me that his sex addiction rehab doesn't take, and his divorce from Tia Leone is about to get real ugly. So he's going to be a little too busy to host a show. I was tossing the I Ching the other day, and it appears that the move to put Leno in prime time and Conan's show in the old Leno slot will backfire horribly, and Conan's ratings will stink up the joint. This will free him up to host a new show, but disillusioned by the way the network stabbed him in the back, Conan will leave show business and open a bar in Brookline within stumbling distance of JFK's birthplace. He may even name the bar the Grassy Knoll. Pro skateboarder turned My Name is Earl actor Jason Lee on the surface would be a fine choice, but did you know that he named his first kid Pilot Inspector? And he and his girlfriend still haven't bothered coming up with a name for their 4-month-old baby? Lee sounds a little soft to me, so I think we'll give him a miss too. Tina Fey is a very funny woman, but in 2009 just won't be a very good year for her. According to some remote viewing I did this morning, America has too closely identified her with Sarah Palin, and they will refuse to accept her in any other role, much like Jim Varney could never shake Ernest, or Oprah keep it below 200 pounds. Eventually, Faye will give up and retreat to Paris, where they appreciate a one-note comic. We've narrowed the field a tad, and I have a really good feeling that the choice your finger is resting on is still with us, so let's continue. We all know there'll be a Democrat in the White House in 2009, but the economy will continue to go down, so the nation's politics will start to lean heavily to the right. So what I'd like you to do is move your finger one space either down or to the right. Don't land on any of the crossed out stars, but you can use my logo in the middle if you want to. Other predictions for 09? Well, a no-brainer. J-Lo and Mark Anthony will split the sheets, as they say, so let's cross them out. And the weather for the Oscars in 09 will be unseasonably cold. Tragically, Joan Rivers, stalking out the red carpet for some off-brand network, will be exposed to the elements for too long, and her face will crack and actually fall off of her head. So why don't we let her fall off too? Your finger's probably getting a little tired, so go ahead and move it one space, either left, right, up, or down. Don't use the crossed out stars, and feel free to use that space with my logo in the middle. Speaking of losing face, 2009 will be a bad year for Nicole Kidman as well. She's about to have some major legal problems, and more than likely a messy divorce. Let's not add to her problems and remove her too. You probably think at this point that I'm trying to force you to pick one square. And to prove that's not the case, go ahead and move 3 times to the left, right, up, or down, all of your own free will. And because you're using free will, you never would have landed on Shirley MacLaine. 2009 will be a sad year for her, really. While she was once a good actress, it seems she picks the coming year to stop talking all that gibberish about her past lives and space aliens, and we all find out that deep, deep down inside, she's really very boring and shallow. So let's take her off our list. Maybe we all did have a past life, but why is it that past lives are always someone famous or powerful or successful? Never just a simple shepherd or a garbage man. In honor of my simple past life, go ahead and move 2 spaces, either to the left, right, up, or down. Now, Tom Bosley is still a viable option on our list. Or is he? I'm not even sure that Tom Bosley is still alive, so let's take him off the list just to be safe. That leaves us with 3 spaces. And I know you're on one of them, so go ahead and move 1 space and stay there. No one in their right mind would give Tony Danza another TV show, and even though she was in Prom Night and the new 90210, no one even knows who that chick is, so that leaves us with what? My logo, which is exactly what I told the production company. Using the greatest dowsing techniques known to man, I am the best choice for the job, and because out of all of these stars, you also picked me with your own free will, heck, I must be right. I'll be in my trailer if you need me.